on the kitchen counters. Normally, Edith was not one to dwell on her emotions, whatever they were, but this was a sadness that she had never felt before. If only she hadn't done this or said that to Liza. If only she hadn't been so judgmental and impatient. If only she'd been a different kind of mother altogether. Her mind raced back and forth on a hamster wheel of guilt. The lawyer had called and called, leaving message after message on the machine for the next 2 weeks, but Edith could not be bothered. He had had Liza cremated, as per the will that he had helped her draw up, and that was all that she needed from him as far as she was concerned. She wasn't ready to hash out the copious details of her daughter's life with anyone yet, much less a total stranger. And then he had shown up at her doorstep, his suit wrinkled from the ride. Edith wished she hadn't answered the door, but she was a practical woman even in her grief, and knew that she couldn't avoid her daughter's wishes forever. She had laughed in his face when he told her that the cleaning lady had inherited the house, and that she and her daughter would be moving in to look after her. The cleaning lady. "Over my dead body," she had replied. "I'm sorry, Edith. You don't really have a choice." "Well, you do, but it would involve moving out and relocating to an assisted living facility. Liza has provided the necessary funding for that. It was her house, after all." He laughed awkwardly, a half-laugh that sounded more like a cough. As much as she wanted to wring his skinny little neck, it was true. "Mom, you can't live on your own anymore," Liza had told her matter-of-factly after Edith had taken a tumble in her pink-tiled bathroom 5 years earlier. The same pink-tiled bathroom that Liza had grown up using. And so Edith had moved in with her daughter, kicking and screaming until she had realized that living there wasn't all that bad. It had taken her a while to get used to what Liza had called their treehouse, because of the open floors and the upside-down layout, with the kitchen and living room on the second floor, but soon she had fallen in love with its conflux of light and air amongst the green leaves outside their windows. It soothed her. She and Liza had developed a real friendship, or so Edith had thought. Now it was clear that she had not been her daughter's friend at all, but instead a burden to be passed on to someone who had no other options. She felt like a fool. Edith had wrestled with the lawyer's news for a day or two, sitting on the couch and thinking as her sadness turned into anger. How dare Liza insinuate that she was incapable? Edith had started over before, had overcome obstacles her daughter didn't even know about, and she could certainly do it again without unwanted help from a stranger. There was no way in hell she was leaving. So she had forgotten things a few times. She was 82 years old, for God's sake. She hadn't been sleeping well. That was it. Lack of sleep had always made her forgetful. As far as falling now and again, so what? She would wear one of those medic alert bracelets gladly if it meant keeping her independence. And just who was Liza thinking that her word was more credible than Edith's? Liza wasn't well. Hadn't been well for years, the proof obvious. You didn't do what she did if you had your senses about you. She would contest the will, she decided. But figuring out how exactly would require time and money, and she certainly didn't want to leave this house, the house that was rightfully hers while she did so. She would stay. So here she was. The evening before, Edith had said hello when Maggie had arrived with her sleeping toddler in her arms. The movers were coming the next day, she had told her. Edith had nodded, showed Maggie Liza's bedroom, and retreated to her own, where she had holed up with a small glass of whiskey and a plate of cheese and crackers. She'd eaten on her bed and washed the dishes in her bathroom sink, feeling vaguely like a prisoner, but not minding it too terribly much. The alternative, engaging in forced conversation and pretending to not be furious, seemed unnecessarily exhausting.